good evening. I hope you are all having a wonderful night. My days have been sprawled. My days have been shortened recently. And by that I mean I have been getting less and less because of swamped work. But tonight is a good night, and I wanted to go over some stuff involving gray nights, as well as just get back to doing ye old paints. More so the lists first. Swap over now. Just making sure it worked. Yay! I haven't used the face cam in a while. It's been a while. Hello! So, tonight I wanted to go over some of the list ideas I had for Warpbane for Grey Knights. I got to play with it a little bit more. I realized how silly I was, and the ideas I had before involving some of the shooting units might actually be worth a try now. And I know this thing is going to be in the way for a bit, at least until I get the camera situated. Might have to fiddle with that later, but that is that. Make sure everything's correct. Yes, and that's it. We'll be good to go. So, I got to do a couple of games. One I got to do live with a pal of mine over at my local shop. The others have been virtual, unfortunately, but it's my situation. And to start off with the list, I think every single one of these Warpbane lists, I think, is definitely going to be including max level purifiers with max level incinerators. Too much. There we go. I think this is the immediate staple everyone's going to be going for, specifically for Warpbane, just because this army detachment makes purifiers so good. It was kind of amazing. Running it on the tabletop, the guy in person I played with brought Necrons, and he brought the Nightbringer, and to my surprise, the purifiers held the Nightbringer for 2 turns, which was kind of wild. One for me rushing in, and one against him. Up to the point where I think Crow was the last alive. They didn't kill it, but they got close, I think with 3 wounds left. But yeah, every Warpbane, I think, detachment will have at least 1, if not 2 of these. And definitely having as max incinerators as you can take. But we're not going with that exactly. For the purpose of these lists, it's only going to be 1 Purifier Strike Squad, which you might say is a bit weird. Why wouldn't you take more? But hear me out. So, going over all the options, the first one I wanted to go over with was a pure shooting army for Grey Knights. And what do I mean by that? Well, most of the purifiers, their incinerators, their purifying flame, is very good against infantry. That right there is your whole anti-infantry that you need right there, regardless of what other guys you bring. The other one, which I think is a great use that has been dropped a couple times, is this right here. And then where are they? There they are. So the other option I thought of is the full Paladin side cannon setup. Yep. All side cannons, good. So for those who don't know, back when Teleport Assault came, when we first had our lists, one of the options to take with Teleport Assault for great damage was the Grandmaster with a 10 brick of Paladins, and 5 of them had side cannons. The Grandmaster had side cannons as well. It eventually left you with this profile for 6 people, all hitting on 2s, Strength 8, AP 1-2 damage. But with Teleport Assault, you could abuse Plunging Fire, which gave it AP 2 damage. It essentially meant you could wipe squads of 6+ Space Marines completely off the board. It was nuts. Not to mention that the Grandmaster itself is, one, fantastic fun, great move, great standard movement. It's a Terminator, toughness, wounds. Having 7 wounds along with Caldor is fantastic. But what made him great was his Might of Purity and his Master Strategist. Might of Purity, you ignore all modifiers to your base stats. So you know how when Death Guard affect your toughness, they'll affect your ballistic skill, your strength. Him leading the unit meant that your paladins were always going to be T5, hitting on 2s. Yes, hitting on 2s, saving on whatever. And the Master Strategist allowed you a free CP to 1. Once per battle. Yep, if it does reduce, that stratagem by 1. It basically allowed you to use your free, they weren't battle drill recall, but sort of teleports away for free, as well as, I believe, it giving them sustained hits, which was wonderful. So now, with Warpbane, you have an entire squad of Psy Cannons hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s if it's hollowed ground, and then with a CP, you then basically wound on 3s. Say if you want to target a higher echelon unit besides Space Marines, wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. That means you're outputting way more damage, and it really does help with punching into Terminators, Scorpex, Death Shroud Termies. I'm trying to think of other T6 units. What's threatening T6? Maybe Stealth Suits from Tau? I might be remembering that wrong. Not to my knowledge. In essence, being able to punch that much harder, or now being able to punch that much harder, is way better. So, doing this, I think you can throw in... I'll see how I feel about that. The one strike squad, always bring it. Bring a incinerator. No reason not to. Sticky objectives are perfect. You want him bouncing around anyway. You still have teleport assault. You want to be sticking objectives, and you want to make sure you keep hollowed ground. So one of them is fine. So the next couple of guilty pleasures are either, where is it? Inceptors, I think, is a guilty pleasure, as well as the Nemesis Dread Knight and the GM Dread Knight. Opinion time from me, I really like Interceptors for the purpose of Warpbane, but as soon as you get Warpbane, they're kind of a liability. They're mostly going to be doing objectives for you, but the reason that I think they're really great is because if it's a certain type of terrain that it is, if it's specific to where you can jump them into a backline objective and immediately hold it, your Warpbane is then going to trigger, and you now have hollowed ground for the rest of your units. I hope I'm close enough to the mic. I don't want to... Do, re, mi, fa. Hope that's good. But, yeah, just rushing them down the board, advancing them hopefully far enough, because now you don't have auto 6, you gotta roll for it, but you always have fly, and you do have a move, shoot, move, so you can move 12, if you don't want to risk the advance, you can move 12, hopefully have something in line, you don't have to do any real damage, but shoot, and then move again an additional 6. Getting a total of 18. Because you also don't have the assault stratagem anymore, so you do have to be aware of that. You can't really move 24 inches, you're kind of reduced to 18, but 18 is still fast. And just having, say, 2 of them to basically bum rush, because you do need to control half objectives, I think is great for if you're running slow movement. Like, say you want to run more Terminators or run Purifiers and you can't really pick them up. Having Interceptors to run those objectives, so you don't have to wholly rely on the Purifier aura for Hallowed Ground for most things. That's another thing I forgot during the game. I had no idea, where was it? I had no idea that the Purifier squad produced its own 6-inch aura for Hallowed Ground. And I completely didn't factor that in for other things, which would have been great, but I think I held middle board for most of the game, so it kind of didn't matter. But it's good to note that your Purifiers do emit a 6-inch Hallowed Ground aura, so... do they give it to themselves? They do not. Okay. So yeah, they themselves are like portable Hallowed Ground. Not for themselves, but for other units. But let's say you don't want to run Inceptors. Perfectly understandable. They're not the greatest anymore. They're more useful in Teleport Assault. Your next options are, of course, the Dread Knights. Ever since the Dread Knight update, they have been phenomenal. And I think it stands to reason that, for me, I personally like running more Marines, but this is going to be a great attachment for Dread Knights. The normal ones in particular. Grandmaster is always a great glass cannon, but the fact that you can take the Heavy Incinerator and the Side Cannon, heck, to get even crazier, you could even run the Silencer for just reroll 1s, and not to mention sustained hits, which lets you fish for more damage. 12 attacks at Strength 6 is not bad for just nuking, like, Guardsmen, Hormagaunts, Termagants, Sisters of Battle, if you even see Sisters of Battle, Drukhari, Eldar, Necron Warriors. Just shoving out a crap ton of just single one hits without damage reduction is great. Now let's say you stick with the original, like, Incinerator Side Cannon thing. That's phenomenal too. And also to note, you will be able to reroll 1s in Hallowed Ground for your Heavy Side Cannon, which is just great for nuking out Dreadnoughts and Transports, ignoring cover all the way. So that, running the Greatsword, I think, is fine. The Demon Hammer isn't the worst either. You are going to be hitting on 3s, but re-rolling 1s, I think, will mitigate that. Not to mention being able to re-roll wounds for 1 CP is nice. And, you know, advance, fallback, shoot, and charge. Hammers, I think, will be a big factor for them, but the tried and true Greatsword is also fine. Always hitting on 2s. The Psychic Keyword really doesn't play into effect, but you don't care about that anyway. And then Grandmaster, the boy in the giant baby carrier. Standard weapons. I prefer the Great Hammer on the Grandmaster just because he gets the full rerolls against monsters and vehicles. Where is he? Where is your beautiful... There it is. His Surge of Wrath makes the hammer that much more delicious. What is... coughing. What is really evil, though, is 1, each time he's targeted for a stratagem, it only costs 1. Not to mention, you can give him the, where is it, his Paragon? Oh, they don't let you take it. That's smart. I think it's infantry only. Where is it? I think it might be infantry only. Yeah, it's infantry only, Paragon of Sanctity. Oh no, it's not a... Radiant Champion, I'm sorry. Infantry models, yes. So, I was going to say you could do that, but you can't. Smart. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. But in this case, giving him OBSEC 7 isn't terrible for 20 points. And then also being able to select a unit and give them Hallowed Ground for the turn isn't terrible either, because he's going to be moving around the board regardless. But just this profile alone with the CP to reroll ones. And I believe I'm gonna pull up the other thing to Warband, please. There it is. Where is the stratagem? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Well, Sanctified Kill Zone, yes, the reroll ones. And I thought there was another one. No, it's all infantry. Okay, so Sanctified Kill Zone, I think, is great to work for the Dread Knights. Right there. And then where... I mean, you really don't need... I was going to suggest Armigers as well, but at that point, they're kind of just doing Armiger things, and I mean, Armigers are Armigers, so... Give them Questoral Heavy Stubbers. They're mean, they're gross. It's not even that bad of an idea. What is a crazy notion is you throwing this gigantic thing in there. Where is it? There it is. How do y'all feel about a Storm Raven? So, him being the giant behemoth has all these weapons, rerolling ones in hollowed ground. There's a reason I'm bringing this up, and you'll take note of it. But, all of his weapons are fantastic. Twin Assault, the Storm Strike missiles, Typhoons, I believe you should be able to give him... Well, first, it would swap that out to the Heavy Plasma. You need a little bit of heavy stuff in here. Does he not come naturally with... Oh, he does come naturally with the Hurricane Bolters. Hurricane Bolters are fantastic for this point. He would be in here for the next portion of the shooting gallery, which is my own flavor. Don't look at it. It's scary. So go that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then... Hear me out. Hear me out, please. Please. Purgation squads are never used. Ever. Like, at all. Reason being is that they're totally not helpful in whatsoever. They're strike marines without any melee, but what they make up for is that they bring heavy weapons. Now that the Psy Cannon has gotten better strength for the smaller boys, you can abuse plunging fire with this too, but the better portion is Astral Aim. You don't care about hitting on 4s when you still get to reroll 1s because you're in hollowed ground pretty much constantly. So it's more 2 damage, AP 2, it's more shots going off from a heavy bolter that just doesn't care. Where is it? It's the... Can destroy models. Yep. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. There it is. And all you need to satisfy this is a singular unit with line of sight on the enemy. It doesn't have to be that they're in firing range, line of sight, and they get indirect fire. The problem I feel that's going to come up with this is that they're basically going to be sitting down, maybe doing nothing. Or you sacrifice one of your shooting times to perform objectives. Having that many strength 8 shots on the board could be very good. You don't really have to lead them. The only leader that can go to them is the Blade Champion, and that's better spent on the Strike Squad because of precision. But, I definitely want to try this. I'll probably take this tomorrow, because I plan on doing a couple more test games. Maybe not with the Storm Raven? I do have it set, though. So, odds are this might change, but I really want to try this out and see how well the shooting does. And we got 400 points? 475 points? You can throw in some double Libby action. Actually, no. What you should do is run the tried and true with it, which is Caldor with the Brother Terminators. Even if it's going to take it away, there's... Am I crazy? I thought the Brother Terminator squad... Can they have double incinerators, or am I nuts? They can? Or am I crazy? Oh no, it's only one. Okay, it's only one. I'm not crazy. I'm not... just give me back the story. There we go. I did not know the Ancient could actually have the banner. But, yeah. There we go. The Terminators, Caldor Drago, always a solid squad. It's your charge squad. And even though they can't be affected by the drop down at 6 inches, because that'd be broken, they're affected by almost everything else, including if people are nearby. I believe it's nearby Crow and his Purifiers? Until the end of each. Yep. Oh, no, they also have access. They could also have access to Fires of the Covenant as well as, I believe, Aegis Eternal. But they don't need it. And Repelling Spear. So having all those options for Caldor is just kind of busted. And for the last 150 points... You could honestly throw in a Calidus Assassin, and maybe some Servitors. I wouldn't, though. Or actually, Calidus Assassin and... Where are they? Naval Breachers. Where are you? Where are you? God, the Vindicar's 125. You could throw the Vindicar in there instead of the Calidus, but the Calidus is more like a competitive edge. Where are those... I've lost them. It's not... Isn't it Inquisitorial Agents? No. It's the, Oh my god, what are they called? They're called, like, Inquisitorial Naval Breachers, aren't they? That's pretty funny. I did not realize you could do that. Thought for certain they were 50... That's Inquisitor. I'm sure they were, like, 55 points. Let me see. Maybe Bolter... That's the Man Loyal Henchman. No. Storm Priests. I don't see them. I feel like I know for a fact you can run them, though. Could be wrong. Or those 50 points you throw on, Here's the Grandmaster. Give him, not Paragon of Sanctity. Where is it? Radiant Champion? Yeah. Or actually... Reliquary on the Paladin is funny. I remember taking this for the Paladin squad, and they had OC 5 for each of them. I had like 24 OC on the objective. So either Radiant Champion or Vial of the Abyss. Oh, no, yeah. Vial of the Abyss. That's what it was. There you go. And I only got 25 points left. So that, I think, yes. So now, you don't even need to run Voldus, which before, if you wanted to give your Paladin stealth, you'd run Voldus with it. That way they were -1 to hit, and if you had a higher strength against their toughness, they'd be -1 to wound. And I think we're all good. There's nothing really else you can throw in for 25 points. And you can't give these guys enhancements, so you're kind of just stuck with them. Caldor does become the Warlord, and that fulfills it. all in all, that is a pretty spicy, shooting list. Now, obviously, you can sub out the Storm Raven for Nemesis Dread Knights. If I had to play this, like, more optimal, it would be something like this. Where is it? I've lost you. You're down here. It'd be something like this. And then drop that, duplicate it. Ah, too expensive. So probably drop that, and then get a Nemesis Dread Knight, and then probably throw Kodiaz in there. Is it 95? Yeah, that puts me at 2,000. There you go. 2,000 flat. It'd probably be something like that. Just because, one, the Nemesis Dread Knight gets access to the stratagems, he's able to teleport assault, run around, his Incinerator's great, and this heavy Psy Cannon's good. And also Kodiaz for CP shenanigans, Callous Assassin for CP shenanigans. I can't speak. I'm going too fast. I'm sorry. And after all that, yeah. I'd run this. Absolutely. Just being able to output more damage, finally, for Grey Knights feels so much better. Because, honestly, in Teleport Assault, if you weren't running just max amount of Dread Knights and or running an Imperial Knight or two, it really felt half the time you weren't dealing damage, and the only one who was dealing damage was Kaldor and his Terminators, just because they look at anything and nuke it. But it feels good to finally give reasons to run, like, the Strike Marines, more of the Strike Marines. Because you really only ran this, Paladins, which are just more Terminators, sometimes a Purifier, and then you'd never see Purgation or Inceptors. At least I never did. I guess another option you could run is completely throw all this away. Probably keep that, keep that, keep that. So let's say dump that, dump this. You're running the good shit. So we run it like this. And then probably throw in more Dread Knights, right? So it'd be that with the hammer. For enhancements, it'd probably be give him OC7. Probably duplicate. Excuse me. I just sneezed. I think instead of that, you choose that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have room for, what is that, 150 more points? Probably throw in another Purifier squad? Yeah. One big boy. Drop it down like that. This is, I think, something you'd see more of. The Castle and Kaldor, the Quad Dread Knights. So I even see some people, probably not Kodiaz anymore. A lot of people have dropped it, but still keep the Calidus. But a lot of people just consider running 6 Dread Knights, which I think is crazy. That's a lot of baby carriers. Like, I think it looks something like, drop that, probably keep that, keep that. I think it's something like this. Look at this shit. This is, I think, something you'd see more of. The double Purifiers for extending range, Strike Squad for sticky, and then just Dread Knights running all over the place. And just abusing the crap out of Hollowed Ground. There's still not much to flesh out with the Grey Knight Codex in general. I could say Codex, more Index. But, again, Warpbane is something you can definitely mess around with. A couple of other good options I see people checking out is Stern, because of the fact that he just puts himself back up on the table, regardless. Also, while he leads a unit, any critical wounds, they suffer mortal in addition. So that helps with just hitting bigger targets. The other one I think is another idea is, where is it? The Brother Captain? Because he gives, yeah, he gives all psychic weapons sustained hits. So you could actually make your, you could run it in a Paladin squad and actually just make them generate crap tons of hits, maybe fish for 6s. Because you're already hitting on 2s. And also, he flat out gets to reroll the wound roll. So if you wanted to just spend a CP so that everyone rerolls, it'd be perfect. He gets the full reroll, though. You have to remember that. He gets the full reroll. Who else? No. Okay, so to go over the stuff you never... Another option, again, is Tech Marine. You know, spam blessings. But I think 2 things you should probably stay away from is the Chaplain. It's a red herring. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it. It's a red herring. Most likely stay away from the Chaplain, Voldus, and Servitors no more. I still think you could use Servitors for something, maybe just screening. But the fact that they have OC0 hurts. They have OC0 unless they're manned by a Tech Marine, right? No, it just gives them a better ballistic skill. Yeah, probably not touch Servitors anymore. Land Raiders are good here. Probably still won't use the Venerable Dreadnought, even though I love them. Land Raider Banisher, you never see him. Yeah, I think it's just, you're probably stay away from, if you're doing Warpbane, stay away from Venerable Dreadnought, Voldus, and the Chaplain. And I can go into it. Voldus, for the sole purpose of the fact that you now have an enhancement that gives stealth, it takes away the one real thing you cared about using him with, which was Paladins, and then giving them stealth. His Hammer of Flame isn't terrible, but at the most, you're dealing 4 mortal wounds, and that's on a d6 roll, which the Librarian fills that roll regardless. He's honestly a crappier Librarian, and the only thing that's really scary about him is his Strength 10 hammer. Like, that's the only thing. Other than that, he's a standard Terminator with actually less wounds than the Grandmaster and Kaldor. And I think 1 more wound than the Librarian, but the Librarian has a better mortal wound generator. That's the reason to avoid Voldus. Now, the Chaplain. The reason I say it's a red herring, and you can debate me on this or not, adding 1 to the wound roll for your leading unit is not crazy to me. I do not care that he has +1 to the wound roll. He has lesser stats than the Grandmaster. He has a shittier melee weapon. I don't even think you can give him a... Can you give him a Psy Cannon? Where is he? Chaplain? You can't even give him a Psy Cannon. All you can do is either give him Vial of the Abyss, which is fine, or you give him Radiant Champion, which is also fine. It makes him slightly better. But dude, the next time I see someone say, hey, check out this list, and I see the Chaplain, I have to stop them and say, why are you running the Brotherhood Chaplain? I love Skullboy too, but he is just not worth it. His abilities are poor. He has the same melee stats as Librarian, but he doesn't have the Vortex ability to compensate. It's just not good. Plus, not to mention, you can spend a CP to re-roll the wound roll regardless. I don't know. I don't like it. People can disagree with me. I just don't like it. I see no reason to run him. Which brings me to the final point of poor Venny. God, dude. The one thing you had going for you, brother, and they just made it army rule. The only dreadnought that this codex has, and it's really not that fantastic. He takes all the dreadnought weapons, but his soul ability, which is a 6-inch aura of reroll, hit rolls, and wound rolls of 1, is now the army rule. There really is no reason to run him unless you want to take a Melta or Laz platform. He's one of the few units that can take Melta and Laz. Other than that, he's 155 points down the drain, and I would never. And I think, yeah, that about wraps up mostly all that's changed thanks to Warpbane. Again, I'm going to be trying out that other version with all the Strike Marines and the Purgation Squad. I actually have them built right here. These are not lies. Let me grab it. I'll grab this real quick. I have them built right here. You can see them just right around there. They're all ready. I just have to prime them. But, I'm going to be bringing Purgation Squads, which I never thought I'd do. I'll probably show them off later after stream. I don't think there's anything else really to show about this. Again, the detachment's small. The only other thing I could recommend running in Warpbane is maybe Knights, but at that point it's redundant. Just run Teleport Assault and have the Knights do all the killing. On that note, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to swap on over to paint and make sure everything is looking correctly. I'm going to mute real quick. Oh my. Camera, what have you done? Give me a second to configure. Right down to that, please. Get you to the proper number. Bring you up. Yeah, there we go. There's that beautiful boy. Just bring that down too. Oh, don't fight me. There we go. And I'm just grabbing paints. Take one sip of that. Recently I had to move a bunch of these. Now I got them in a weird pack. Just shifting everything up here. I'll need you. Quickly bring these up, just so I know what I've got. Don't need that. That's purple. I don't need purple, actually. I lost purple. I kinda wish I had done this to begin with. I'm kinda silly for not. Metals are nice. White star? Correct. Korax might be nice. Take it all. It's you. You are not open, so I'm not gonna grab you. That might prove important. That's interesting. I did not think I had bone. Well, not well. There's White Scar. Korax. Bring it along. I think we're all good. Oh. The rest is Grey Knight colors. Awesome. We have everything. If I could not drop things, that'd be good. Yep. Where was I on Ron? It was just getting yellow everywhere. It was. That's right, I added the white highlights in between there. All these fine brushes. Fill the cup. Doing all this prep for one model. That's how it is, though. Good. Alright. Definitely give me you. I might need one of these if you can stay there. That. Definitely will need that. never noticed that. Alright. Get it over there. Get you out of here. Alright. Let's rock and roll. And by that I mean just get more yellow everywhere. I think for Ron, I'm not gonna use the mud format just because I keep that for the 40k fists, and I think I'll just try to just apply some nice dark and Cassandra when it comes to it. Maybe maybe just keep it like a sunset orange kind of deal. We'll see. I don't think I'm gonna go the mud route. Reminds me, I do want to bring up a reference page. There he is. Bring me the image and enhance. That is not big enough. And no, that was not a euphemism. Yeah, sure, give me that one. It's big enough to monitor, at least. That'll work. What else I can do is I can bring this out. taking the time and attacking the pile of shame that you've been leaving on your desk. For months. This isn't even a half of it. I still need to tackle, like you saw, the Strike Marines. And then I have a couple more Grey Knights I need to finish. When you're thinking about Warhammer, you're just buying plastic. You don't think about the repercussions. And you start doing math, and you're like, man, each model that I care about is going to take like 3+ hours. You're just like, wow, a full squad takes a whole day. And I want to die. Yeah, that's how I figured it was going to be. Yeah, that might actually be very good for that. Gently, lads. Too liberal with it. on standby. You never get the proper hair for this. Timmy Peak, thank you for the follow. That's an awesome name. Don't tell me that loose follicle's gonna just mess everything up. And with that new follow, we are now in the final quarter of the goal. Only 25 more exactly. Like to see it's messing it all up. I'm going to commit crimes. Where's that clipper? I can see it too, and that's what makes me mad. It's the simplest thing. You don't properly size up your bristles, and then that happens. Good. Yes. Now I can properly gauge and not have to worry about excess. Okay. I say that and now immediately I'm gonna mess it up. Just you wait. Yep, there it is. 2 seconds in. That's a new record. Go over this again before I start lighting it up. The white I feel like is fine. I'll still give it a couple of dabs. A little bit. There we go. It's gonna be a real challenging Imperial Fist because I'm not just defaulting to the battle-ready mud. We're gonna detail the shiteskis out of this. At least I hope, anyway. Palmore Black may be pristine, but when you mess up just the tiniest bit, it's noticeable, because that thing just cuts through. A little bit thinner. Be so kind. Like butter. Carefully. There we go. Pressing it into there. There we go. Starting to fidget. My apologies. Actually do need blue. It calls for blue? The audacity. I don't know, chat. What are we feeling? So, we got two little energy modules right there on the shield. And they do go blue. What are we thinking? We feeling a nice sky with Royal, or do we feel the classic Grey Knight, Techless, Baroth, and Kaldor? I could honestly go either way. There it is. We got the 3-step program or the 2-step program with whites in between. I'll leave that recommendation up. Until then, I'll continue. Back over it. Actually, what else I could do is I could try and start doing his hair. There's the 3 stages of Doom Bowl that I got. Extra Doom Bowl? That is extra Doom Bowl. It's Scrag. That was the other one.
nice solid military cut there, Ron. I think I'm going too far. No, not going that far. Let's go deep. Alright. You and your manly mustache. What sucks is that I really can't get to your beard. This was definitely a model that demanded separate pieces before full construction. And I was but a babe in the woods when I first built him. Running it like that. Now that that's ready, I wanted to try it out just a little bit. Actually, you know what would be a better idea? So I had this a while back. It was one of those weird like stencil things on monitors, but it proves nice and small, so I want to see if I can try and use this as like a not a dry brushing utensil, but I want to see if I can get it to hit specific peak areas. You know? I mean, it's hard to tell just because my camera's a bit shit, but... Is it the worst? Not necessarily. How far can I take this? Do that. How is this working? What? More importantly, how high can I go? Something's working and it shouldn't be, and I don't understand why. This is actually an enigma. I just need to clean that up a bit. Well, hey, for anybody out there, if you have one of these cardboard stencil things, rip up some. What did I use? A sponge? I used a bit of sponge. Some of the like packaging sponge. Rip it up, and it's like a decent. It's a decent thwapper. It's all the necessary parts that it needs to. And then after that, use a nice tiny detail brush and hit the points you need to. That's not what I thought was going to happen. There we go. There we go. Actually, this instead. arts would have been so much better. Okay. Good thing the time I've taken to practice is paying off. Gotta do some hand bending. Alright, I'll be right back, chat. I'm gonna take care of some outside stuff real quick, and I'll be right back. And we're back like nothing happened. Should probably get the next stage of this. Oops. See how this is going to work. Really want to get this super duper shade consistency. A little bit too much. Hopefully. Should be just the right bit that I need. It's not usually that bright, but boom, boom. The beard as well. Let's make this beard immaculate, stunning, gorgeous. Should I play around with the? It's still a little bit early. What I will play around with is doing that a little bit. The whole connector, yeah. The whole jolly connector. There we go. Get in there. You know what, I will. I will start adding flesh, why not? I don't have my other flesh paint. Is that you? Let's go. Is that you? Gotcha. I actually, hold on, I have another flesh set I want to use for this.
ascend into my archive. I have an entire flesh paints that I could use. I also found more yellows, which is helpful. The one it was. Good, good, good. I haven't used these in a while, actually. Make sure that's correct. There we go, that reached it. Stay over there. Well, we'll get to see how this is going to turn out. I haven't really used these in quite some time, but I think it should give the type of colors that I'm looking for. Make that a little bit lighter. There we go. So it fills out easier. God, if only my hand camera was better.
little bit into the hair, but that's alright. Actually cuts off there, so yeah, that's correct portion. There we go. Touch that up a bit. See if I can't find it better. Did the focus angle change when I wasn't looking? Or... yeah, it's still there. Down here. Oh me, oh my. If I try to bring it all the way up to 102, that means I gotta hold it right about here. Okay, so hold on. Keep that distance. There we go. You're just gonna go right back up, aren't you? Fight me every turn. Right here should be fine. I have you now. You're gonna stay. Haha. That is much better. That might be cutting into the hair. That right there is flash, that's correct. Okay, so cleaning up that was correct. Give me this. There we go. That's a cheekbone. a bit. Come back to me. Or just erase. There we go. What is next? Slowly remember one. Right there, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Have something to hold this in its position so I can read. Nope, negatory, got it. 23 and 21 from underneath. Nope, not that one. Not that one. This one. Alright, trusty toothpick. Clear the jam. The unforeseeable happened. It exploded. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't get to any other paints. That should be far away. At least far enough to where it doesn't cause problems. Go. Alright. Back to the face. I'm actually going to need this really thinned out, so... Underneath that. A bit more water. There we go. It's getting there. Anywhere else that needs it. Yeah. have to see about gluing that back in. Okay, so you're cloned. Leave. Yep. There's that tool. That might not be good. Should've that up, changed it. Gelatin came out. I'm back. That's fascinating. It's amazing how many properties different paints have. Okay. I remember the last time I used this. It was with an Infinity model, and I forgot to thin the paints, and it turned out awful. This one, at least this time, is looking better. I know the camera doesn't really tell that story, but oh, I didn't notice that one either. It's all falling apart. Almost like we fought with. Lost in the wind. I'll search for it later. the sets from Scale Color, that's why. This is what I get for not touching a paint set after a long time. That's what happens. It all just crumbles up and you can't use a portion of it. Not too much. More of a shake. It's like a jam consistency first. It's very weird. Okay. Now we got color? Now we got color. That's what I'm looking for. Good. Can't do nothing with jam. Only jelly. That makes perfect sense. Hold on. I can really thin that out, because that'll just do things. Actually, where's the dropper? That would be way more helpful. Okay. This. There we go. Now, get you actually dry first. Now, well, it does do what it does. Again, the camera does not reflect that. start trying to do other shit. But what I do want to do is weather this out. I desperately have to find the eye. Holy shit, that was impressive. Hold on to your seats. We're going inverted. I can't. My dominant hand can't work with that axe in the way. I can't do it this way either. I think I actually just have to be careful and wing it. Gently, you fidget spinner. Alright, get a little water. It's no big deal. I might have actually gotten it. I can't be certain. Okay. I definitely have the pupils. One of them might just need a little bit of this. A little bit underneath. There we go. Okay. Tidy up the eye a bit. That might have been a little bit too much. Alright. My heart is beating so fast right now. I just need to very carefully I've done it actually. Got the left eye. Get the right eye? Or I'm sorry, I got the right eye. Did I get the left eye? I don't know. I think I did. more perp that I think shouldn't be in there, but hold on, we can remedy that. Hold on. Hold your Canorses. Alright. Bring it home. A little bit of that. Okay. It looks like it's like muddied inside. Alright, just a teeniest bit. Hold on. We're almost there. I can feel it in my bones. My Tannhauser bones. Sorry, I pulled him away for 2 seconds. Damn, too much. Too much. Maybe pulled it back at just the right time. Okay. Now I just need a dollop of Daisy. And by Daisy, I mean the very slightest riff. Okay. Just do it, forehead. Just do it. Just land the prick for the eyeball. No pressure. No fucking pressure at all. Just land it. I don't know why I'm even thinking there's pressure. There's no pressure at all. Done these 100 times, 1,000 times. Like I said, 1,000 times. No trouble? No. Did I go too hard? Might have gone too hard. Okay. Very... kind of creating like a hook hand. Give it a refill. This is always what happens. I land one of them on the first try, and I can't seem to get the other one. God, he's so close. Okay, I think I see it now. Just need, you know what? Make it a little bit more defined on the right. I think I have a good plan of attack. There we go. Away. Good. Oh, I need to stretch. Place I can check. No, I just suck. I think I got it actually. Hard to tell with the focus. I don't think I got it. That's good actually. Hey, might be my best face I've ever done. Let's go. Let's go. Add a bit of highlights over here. That's awesome. Give me a second to glaze myself real quick. Holy cow. That will most likely never happen again. And I will cry because I will never be able to get that. Clean up a bit and give my hands a second. Everything back where it belongs, or I lose it. What did I say? Where's the cap, right? Yeah. Those ports. easy one I can take care of right away is that. I don't know if that's a pistol hold or not. Right there, I think it's pouches. Actually, I know what could help out here. Scrub. In terms of the PowerPoint, I think I'm gonna go with Icy Blue. I always do, Nemesis Force Sword Blue. Or that I just leave majority of the white alone. Just focus on the dot. But if worse comes to worse, I do have more. Okay. No, it's kind of the same consistency blue. I didn't expect it to be that, actually. Hold on. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Okay, hold on. There we go. That's some nice blue. Some nice glassy, icy blue for the points. Actually. There we go. Stop fighting me. cross-eyed for a second. I didn't know where I was. Okay. Now those should connect correctly. There we go. Make sure to get every... Okay, good, yeah. Every bit of that is covered in gray. And then I can just do this. It was good for a bit. I have to use it hand style. Alright. Scratch that. Put you somewhere else. I'm actually going to try and do something a little silly, but hopefully it doesn't completely flounder. That's still not wet enough. That one you can take as a euphemism. It is. There we go. Might have fucked up on that one over there. Hold on. Reset, 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 reset. I actually didn't go into much thought about the pauldron. Kind of messed that up a bit. Let me see. There's the better picture. I'm looking for this one. Okay. I still run it like that regardless, so that's fine. Actually need a little bit of revival. There we go. That's too much. Bring it back. There we go. Alright. Take it back now, y'all. I'm gonna be adventurous. Uh-oh. do it. Okay. I just gotta clean it up a bit. There we go. Okay, that looks good there. All right. Top area is basically good looking. What's cooking? swap it off. I haven't used yellow in a bit. It's gray and white is driving me nuts. There we go, that's a clean up a bit. Sorry for going so silent for a bit. Made a lot of good progress today. Face is basically done. I actually forgot to color in his ears. Face is basically done. Can actually touch up on the hair. And we basically got the top decoration done. And we got tiny little blue jewels. First I can hit with the final portion that I wanted. Where is it? Was it Scrag? No, it was the other one. There it is, Deathclaw. Reason I want Deathclaw. I'm also getting dry on my palette really quick. we go. Our face and beard. There's one thing I can add into the face, which is just... There we go. That's the rest of his armor. Whew. I think the last thing to work on for tonight, we'll work on the arm prongs. Actually get a bit more gray to work with. Blows because I am taking care of the easier parts first. the hard bits, it's going to be unforgiving. Oh my god, I completely forgot that's a jewel. Oh god. Okay. Damn you. Not much else to tackle right now, just because my time is a little bit uprooted. But this was a good progression day. Some good highlights, worked on the top banner. I actually did a really good face for once. I was shocked. And jewels. But it's going to be a good stopping point for today. I need a good top down just so you can see it, but I'll hold it like this. See the progress. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're curious on past projects, I've posted everything that I finish to the Twitters and to the Blue Skies. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. If you have not followed yet and are still curious on what else I do, be sure to hit that follow button. I tend to either paint minis or play games, try and grab some friends just to do some random stuff, or I might try out some Warhammer games. A lot of them are pretty repetitive, but I also tend to do just some other stuff. Might incorporate just playing with chat in games like Space Marine or Darktide. Oof. It has been a long day. I can't remember any of the usual outro that I do. Oh, if you're curious on some of the paint schemes I do, I currently have one ready on YouTube. You can follow it on the socials. It's just how I do my usual muddy Imperial Fist for 40k. And other than that, I will see you guys next time. I'll shoot for Saturday. If anything comes up, I will post on Twitter. Or X. I should just keep saying X, but we'll call it there. And on that note, let's see if we can't visit anyone for the end of the night. Fun. He's also doing minis. Alright. I'll send you to go meet a Warhammer VTuber. That'll be a good end off to the night. Oh. Never mind. Alright. Oh, she's probably prime. Yeah. Makes sense. Then I'll end it there. You all have a good night.